additional height of 35 feet, and that you allow us to exceed our allowable sign face area. And I'll be available should you have any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Anyone else to speak in support of granting this variance? Come on down. How many minutes does he have, gentlemen?
My name is Larry Jackson. I'm the...
sorry? 1 second, sir.
Sorry.
3 minutes, 30 seconds. Mr. Jackson?
Larry Jackson. I am a construction project manager for Panda Express. So obviously I'm in favor of this. Panda Express is fairly new to the area and new to Texas, and we are trying to establish a very good image here in the state and in Austin. And so we would request any help on signage that we can get, because signage does definitely help our business.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else to speak in support of granting this variance? Hearing none. Anyone to speak against the granting of this variance? Against the granting of this variance? Hearing none, we're going to close the public hearing. Mr. Bennett, if you can come to the mic. You're asking for a lot here, and let me clarify what I'm saying. The finding that you give us for the height is because of the 290 overpass.
Yes, sir.
And to me, I think it's pretty fair distance from where the locations is at to the 290 overpass. And more importantly, you're asking for a lot of square footage in terms of the face, in terms of what the actual code says. And I'm not sure that the findings support it.
Mr. Chair, on the
Yes, sir.
relative to the height of it, there is a Wendy's on the very corner, a new Wendy's store built on the corner. Staff and I took quite a considerable amount of time measuring, because the ordinance says if you're within 200 feet of the intersection of 290 intersection for 200 feet, I think then you're allowed to go up to 35 feet. I believe we were something like 189 feet from that intersection, even though we share entrances with the Wendy's and have reciprocal parking with the Wendy's. We weren't considered to be a unified development because each one of us have a site plan, and we are so close. I don't remember the exact dimension. I think it was like 189 feet away. If you consider that short distance from where we would be allowed to go 35 feet, and the fact that we have the overpass there, both for the westbound traffic and for the northbound airport traffic, then perhaps consideration could be given to the heights question. The design standards that you have from the Panda sign, the sign face area, we're allowed 93 square feet. We're asking for 225 square feet. I believe that's one of their standard logo type signs, and perhaps that could be reduced. I don't know how many different models they may have that they could select from. Larry may be able to answer that question.
Let me interrupt you for a second. On the square footage of the sign, is it because it's triangular? Is that how you're figuring the square footage? Or are you figuring 3 faces per?
I think they only figured one face, if I'm not.
Because you have a triangular sign, am I correct?
Yes, sir. I'll refer that question to staff. I think they can answer that for you.
Mr. Bennett, how tall is the Wendy's sign?
I don't know. They could go up to they could go up to 35 because they are immediately adjacent. I'm not sure how high it is.
And they're the closer structure to 290, right? They're the south?
Yes.
They're south of you?
They're the lot right next door, yes.
Mr. Chair.
Mr. King, you have the mic.
Mr. Bennett, and I'm sorry I forgot your name, the representative from
Larry.
Panda, Larry. Did either of you meet with the Neighborhood Association, our backup material? They are both opposed to it because it's a future transportation development vertical mixed-use ordinance, and the past president is opposed to it and cites page 90 under the urban design and preservation goals to improve the appearance major corridors by reducing and improving signage. Granting this variance is in direct opposition with the goal of our neighborhood plan. Did you all meet with them?
I did not, Mr. King. If you look at your area zoning map, there is a piece of property that's about 100 yards deep between our property and the residential property to the west. And with airport being a major arterial commercial developed street, then I did not meet with them for those reasons, because it did not appear that it would intrude into their residential development. That's one commercial lot, 100 yards deep, I believe.
But if we could stick to the findings, again, the findings, you're asking for an incredible amount of square footage in the signage. I'm not sure that you've given us adequate, I mean, your findings are very generic, Mr. Bennett. I
Chairman.
don't speak in terms of why this is so unique. And I still contend that the distance between the 290 overpass and the actual location of the restaurant